Hey, good afternoon. It's Saturday, day after Good Friday, day before Easter, um, 3 weeks or so before Passover. But I wanted to pop on here and just remind everybody that I am running a 5-day Crush Your Sugar Craving Challenge starting on Monday. And I have it scheduled for around 10 o'clock. And we'll see how that runs because I'm new and I'm just checking out the tech and everything. So I am running the 5-day Crush Your Sugar Challenge, Crush Your Sugar Cravings Challenge, because so many people have issues with sweets. And it's because they're delicious. Everybody likes sugar. Most people do. Most people like the way it tastes. And we actually evolved and are hardwired to crave and love sugar because it was beneficial when you came upon like a honey hive, beehive with honey in it, or seasonal fruit. It would give you quick energy, and so we evolved and adapted to want sweet things like that. So really, seriously, if you have what you consider an issue with sugar and sweets and controlling your intake, don't beat yourself up because it's biology at work. And what happened is for eons, for many thousands, maybe longer years, humans and human predecessors evolved to love sugar. We evolved to, need sugar because we were basically hunter-gatherer societies. And so we would mostly hunt game and eat that and, gorge on that. And then it would have to sit with us. And then if, wow, we came upon some fruit, or we came upon some berries, or wow, a beehive, and look at all that honey. It was like, it was so good. So we as a species love sugar. So it's not a problem. It's not don't beat yourself up if you love it too. And like, oh, if only I could stop eating sugar, because, we needed it. So then what happened is we became more of an agricultural society. Humans learned how to cultivate grains, which fed more people. So the human population kind of exploded at that point. We could feed more people with grains because grains feed the world. And then we figured out how to grow sugar cane. And then we figured out how to cultivate beets and fruit trees and grains so that we could make flours and cakes. And, back in even not so long ago history, only wealthy people could afford sugary things, could afford the cakes and the cookies because they were kind of considered not a necessity. But we all really, really loved them, and we ate a ton of them. So, mainly the wealthy people. And back in not so long ago human history, wealthy people were kind of overweight or larger bodied. And poor people, like everybody else, the other 99% were thin because it was more of a struggle to find food to eat. Now we've really learned how to refine sugar. It's become very cheap. We get it from overseas in India. We get it now from high fructose corn syrup, and which is very, very inexpensive. And it's becoming a worldwide problem because multinational corporations come in and Coca-Cola actually competes with water. So you go into these poor communities where maybe their water isn't so good, and you sell Coca-Cola or something or some other kind of soda really inexpensively, and people drink that. And now we're starting to see obesity, blood sugar, diabetes, those problems happening all over the world, everywhere. And it is because of some of the multinational corporations. So sugar has become readily available. It's become very, very inexpensive. And more people, consume a lot of sugar and sweet things. And so now we're seeing skyrocketing rates of, gut problems, which is my specialty. My practice is full of people with SIBO, LIBO, which is lower intestinal bacterial overgrowth, IBS, GERD. And I'm not saying it's all to do with sugar, but sugar is definitely not going to make things better if you're eating a lot of sugar. So we're seeing a lot of chronic health issues because of how it's kind of the tables turned. Now people of a lower income might eat more sugar because it's cheap and they can walk to their local 7-Eleven or convenience store, and it's easier to get candy bars than it is to, drive across town to a grocery store where you can get, really good cuts of meat and fruits and vegetables. Some people don't even have cars. So you're seeing more people in the lower socioeconomic scale, consuming processed foods and sugar. So when you have that going on and you have the processed foods and the sugar readily available, you're going to see on the lower socioeconomic levels more metabolic dysfunction, things like obesity, gut problems, brain fog, all those things. And then, it's like the people higher socioeconomic or people who make the choices to do that or can get their grass-fed beef and their, wild fish and their organic chicken and their farm fresh, good eggs. But that stuff's more expensive than, going and getting a bag of Skittles. So we're seeing kind of a flip of health issues, body size issues, and all that kind of thing. Not to say that one is good or one is bad, but that is what we're seeing happening, especially in the United States, but I'm pretty sure it's worldwide at this point because of how the sugar corporations are going in and, making sugar readily available and cheap. So during my 5-day live Instagram Crush Your Sugar Craving Challenge, my aim is to help you hack your metabolism so that you don't have those intense physical cravings anymore. If you're having a lot of sugar cravings, it's often driven by biology. It's often your body is wanting energy. And of course, it tastes good, so people want it. But what we're going to do is try to dial down what's causing the physiological craving. Now, not to say that you won't be like, wow, I'm at this potluck and there's some ice cream and I want some. I'm not saying that that's never going to happen, but if you can hack your metabolism to not be so craving of the sugar, then you are going to get yourself on a journey to work on healing your digestion, on healing your metabolism. It's going to help your sleep. It's going to help your brain function. It's going to help your moods. It's going to help your energy. It's going to really, get you to have some control in your life of things. And so, but control does not always mean restrict, and no, because we all know that does not work for the vast majority of people. Now, there's some people with really good discipline and will that can just say, okay, no more sugar, that's it, the end, done. But a lot of people are going to have a situation like, I really wanted this thing and I did it and now I'm a bad person. And so we're really trying not to do that. We're trying to not beat yourself up. We're trying to, the main thing is to hack your metabolism so that your sugar cravings are more or less under your personal control. You get to decide whether you're going to have that sugar or not. Because when your blood sugar is wonky, it's almost like this like monster takes over, and people can't, people often lose control. It's like they blink and a whole sleeve of Girl Scout cookies is gone. So it's like what happened? It's like something takes over, like this animal thing takes over, and people just like the sugar. So what we're going to do starting on Monday is to hack your metabolism so that you're not wanting and craving the sweets and the carbs as much. And when you do that, I'll be interested to hear what you notice. I know for me, when I got control of sugar in my life, my digestion improved immediately because I was feeding all kinds of bugs and overgrowth that shouldn't have been an overgrowth. And this happened when I was very young, but I had a sugar thing like you wouldn't believe. I've written about this. I grew up in a household where we'd have donuts for breakfast, Pop-Tarts, cereal, Lucky Charms, Fruit Loops, whatever. And then there'd be like, a nice little banana bready thing that my loving mother would make. And then it'd be with orange juice, more sugar in there. And then for lunch, she'd pack me a tasty, well, I'm from Philadelphia, so they were tasty cakes, but they're like, Yodels, Twinkies, it's all the same garbage. And I'd have that in my lunch and maybe a bag of cookies. And then I'd come home and I'd have some soda and maybe something else. And then for dinner, my mom, bless her heart, she always had, she had some good foods too. It wasn't just junk. She was a good cook. She had, salad, and then she had a main course, which always was like a meat, a starch, and a vegetable. And then there was always some kind of dessert. And she would go to a bakery and bring home a cake or make it herself and, more sugar. And then after dinner, there was the candy cabinet. And I'd go in there and I'd get myself a little mini Snickers or whatever. And then if I wanted something, there was always dishes of candy in the living room. So, my dad always had some hard candies tucked away in his jacket. And, there was just always something. It was just sugar all day. And I'm not blaming her because we all love that stuff. But it impacted my health. And I had, major infections all the time and digestive problems and, mood issue, I was just very unhealthy. So somewhere along the way, I decided to kind of cut sugar. And at first I went like cold turkey, like no sugar, sugar's bad, no sugar. And then I started to sort of moderate it. And now I'm at the point where I really don't even want it. It's not a thing for me, unless I go on like a 10-mile hike or something, then, but even then, I don't even really want it anymore. And that's been for years. And so learning how to hack your metabolism so that you're not, craving the sugar is going to be a huge win for this. And during the 5-day Crush Your Sugar Cravings Instagram challenge that I'm starting on Monday, we will go through practical, actionable steps for you to be able to, hack your own metabolism so that you don't want the sugar anymore. And you're going to notice, hopefully, a big change. And it's going to jumpstart you. And it's spring. We've all got this momentum where the days are getting longer and we're like a little more motivated to do things, hopefully. So I'm hoping to ride this momentum with you and get you jump-started if winter kind of, a lot of people crave carbs and sugar more in the winter because it does give you a serotonin boost. So it can elevate your mood temporarily before you have that crash. So a lot of people kind of fall off the wagon more in the winter when the days are short. But let's kind of like do a 5-day Crush Your Sugar Craving Challenge. So join me. I will be on here live starting Monday the 1st. And I'm not playing any April Fool's jokes. I don't do that. I'm not into that whole thing. So I'm not into pranking anybody. I know Mercury's going into retrograde or whatever on Monday too. That's what I've heard. So hopefully I won't have any tech problems, which is why I'm on here today, just making sure I can figure this out so I do it right. So join me on Monday. You can either join me live or I'll keep these recordings up all week So if you can't make it live, that's fine too. So anyway, good to see you. And thank you for all who just joined me here impromptuly. That's fun. And I will see you on Monday. Now I have to figure out how to turn this off. This is where it gets fun. How do I stop it? This is why I'm doing this, so I don't mess up the tech on Monday and embarrass myself. Do I just click this X? Maybe that's all I have to do. Okay, bye.